Hello, everyone, and welcome to day one of MMVC 25, our 14th annual event. And we're still in Poland with our next presenter, Dr. Ewa Kozłowska. She has graduated from Gans University of Technology with a master's degree in mechanical and medical engineering in 2017 and a PhD in mechanical engineering last year in 2024. She's also an Autodesk certified instructor, a certified Moodle instructor, a certified quality management system internal auditor. Her interdisciplinary work focuses on the topic of the engineer-physician collaboration with the use of computer collaboration tools by multidisciplinary specialists. Her research interests include mechanical engineering, material engineering, biomedical engineering, quality management systems, computer-aided design, Moodle, and interdisciplinary collaboration, which means all of us can be part of her interest and studies. So it gives me great pleasure. Ewa has been presenting at MMVC for a number of years. I stopped counting, and it's always a pleasure to learn from you, Ewa. So here's your screen.
Yay.
So
Thank you,
thank you for
Nervi.
being here.
Thank you for having me again. Hello, everybody. So great to be here again. It's always a pleasure. And today, my topic is a continuation of my last one, my CO 25 talk about quality management systems, actually, which I've been into recently. And I had an idea that implementing some of the ISO quality management systems in the classroom can actually give you some interesting results. And I've been doing it for a while. So I would like to share some ideas and some of my experience in this field. So let me start with a short explanation and a reminder for those who are not familiar with the term. The standards ISO, the family of ISO 9000 standards, focus on quality management systems. So they focus on customer satisfaction, including standardization, efficiency, and continuous improvement. That's the main purpose of it. And depending which field of interest you work for, there are different specific ones you can use, but the 9000 family is all about quality. So there are like 4 key elements of the 9001 ISO system, the quality management system, and they are process management, leadership engagement, risk management, and continuous improvement. We're mostly going to talk about process management and leadership engagement here. This means you try to imagine whatever you do, but you try to imagine everything as a process. So you think about every single step, you analyze, and you think about how you can improve either each step or the whole process altogether. And this involves a lot of engagement, and the whole team needs to get involved in the whole process, and especially the management. People on top of the organizational structure need to get involved, and they need to take the leader position in order to motivate all the other people to join and make a change, implementing all the systems. The other important part is risk management. Those ISO standards actually focus on risk management and risk analysis for all you do. And the main idea of all the improvement-based standards, you have to be prepared for continuous improvement. So it's not a thing that you learn, implement, and forget about. It actually needs constant attention, revision, audits, and you need to be ready for continuous improvement, which is, I think, a very important factor right now, because everything changes so fast that we actually should be ready and mentally prepared for that kind of improvement because of everything that's going on with the world and the technology right now.
Eva, there's a comment that the screen is fixed. I'm not sure what that means.
Does it mean
Iman,
Iceland didn't change?
it's changing for me. I'm not sure if it's not changing for somebody else.
I'm seeing
Is this,
screen.
is anyone else not seeing the screens move? If you could tell us, if it's just a person, if it's just Iman, then maybe Iman, you can reload, perhaps.
It's showing Ellie's screen, the picture of you.
Okay. Well,
But I'm seeing it, so how come I'm seeing it?
Rob says it's overlapping and some people can see your screen, Nelly.
Oh,
Are you sharing as well?
oh, I see what I mean. You have to go into at the top. Okay, I got it. At the top, you will see Eva Kozlovska's screen. You have to go there. Do you see it at the top?
Me or
No. Everybody else has to see it. You have to click on. Do you see it now?
Okay, Rob says it's
Yeah.
Okay, now
working.
they can see
Yeah,
it. Okay,
okay,
fine.
good.
Good.
Emma's
Okay.
working. Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. So hopefully everything will be working now. I have a short list of 8 quality management principles according to the latest standards. Because they were changing over the years, so if you come across an older version, it might be slightly different than what's on right now. And the main change was they switched to more customer-focused approach. Before that, it was a process approach, the internal improvement. Now it's all about meeting your clients' expectations and needs. And as a client, we can say anybody, we can talk about in industry about the customer, but in education we can talk about our students or their parents, because they're our customers. So we should put their needs on the first place according to those new standards. And in order to do that, we implement engagement, of course, of ourselves, of our team, the whole school. We have to implement improvement, of course, because that's the main thing this whole idea is about. Also, we add leadership, process approach, evidence-based decision-making, and systematic approach. And the very last one is relationship management. And I'm sure we've all been working for a little while. We know all these factors. We know they're important. It's just sometimes we don't really think about it unless we have it in front of us listed. The one thing that is important there, sometimes we tend to think more emotionally. When it comes to quality management, we have to make evidence-based decision. And we actually need to collect data that are measurable, because that's what we want for our improvement process. We come up with factors that will give us feedback, and they must be measurable. So we can actually watch the process, we can get some feedback, and based on that, we can make decisions about improvement. And this is actually quite complicated. There are whole studies about it. So if you go study at Faculty of Management, you have a whole field of study related to that. But I noticed, okay, this is a whole thing on the Faculty of management, but my faculty of mechanical engineering and ship technology, actually teaches people how to build devices, how to maintain devices, how to maintain a production process, how to be decisive about that. So they're going to they're going to work as managers as well. As engineers and managers, they need to know some basics of that system. And even though sometimes it's not a complete course for them, you can implement a little bit in your everyday classroom. No matter what you teach, you use some of the ideas from the quality management system in your class, and it's both for you and for your students. We can actually both learn a lot from each other using the techniques that are mentioned in the standards. And by doing that, we improve our own teaching quality as teachers. I don't know about you, but sometimes it happens to me that I have to teach a completely new class. I don't teach just one class to multiple groups. I teach multiple different classes. I teach technical drawing, AutoCAD, materials science, quality management systems. Last semester I had something about innovations. I had something about company functioning. I even had work safety and ergonomics. And sometimes I'm lucky enough to be informed about my new class a couple days, weeks before I start teaching it. But sometimes I just have to play it by ear because I learn about it 2 hours before, if I'm lucky, or 5 minutes before, because somebody got sick or there was a change or whatever reason. And then I know that the first class is not going to be that good if it's not something I teach every day. And this is normal. I was very stressed about it at first, but then I realized I can actually do something about it. And of course, the first class is not going to be that good, but as I learn and as I pay attention to what I'm learning and transform that into teaching, I can improve my teaching quality and I can save time by preparing materials for each classes. So I have a whole set of materials now for different classes I'm able to teach if somebody needs quick replacement. And, the first group is not so lucky because I'm learning along with them. But then during the semester, I'm learning myself. I'm teaching them. I get constant feedback, live feedback. So during that semester, I can actually improve my teaching quality, getting feedback from them and paying attention to what I'm doing. You can say it's a little bit of mindfulness involved in there too. And it's not easy because it's a lot of work, but later you can save a lot of time and stress once you learn how to do that. And when you do that and you improve your or mine teaching quality, you're going to increase the student satisfaction. So work on the customer's satisfaction, which is the main principle of the quality management system. And they're happier and they feel more comfortable when we have nicely prepared class, a nicely prepared course. So they have the circle room. Sometimes the syllabus is not as obvious, so they like knowing what's going on, especially when you teach weekend students. Here they have like long blocks, like we don't have classes every week, but we have class like once a month or twice a month, but they're long. Sometimes we have 2 classes per week because we have Saturday and Sunday, and then we don't see each other for a month. So for working people, traveling people, when they skip and they know what the plan is, they can catch up easily. Plus, if we add the course materials or Moodle or anything, they'll feel much better if they can use that. So that leads to their skill development, even if they don't participate face-to-face in every class, they know what they're supposed to learn. They know what our teacher expectations are. So they can monitor their own improvement. Once we teach them that this is important and we talk about it and we teach them how we measure our own improvement, they know how to do it with their own. So they're more self-conscious about the constant improvement idea, which is actually growing a culture of continuous improvement for everybody. They know it's important. They know if we as teachers learn something new, to teach them something new, some of them may actually appreciate it and they'll start joining that culture. They realize things change, they realize new challenges are in front of them. They realize that every year, every week, every month, you have new skills that might occur important. So they know learning is a continuous process. Lifelong learning idea is it's not just a nice thing we say, it's actually something that's going on with our life. And of course, you're going to come across some difficulties. It's not an easy process. When you have to start, learn about it, implement. It depends if you're doing it for yourself or you're doing it as a leader, as a head of headmaster or head of a group of teachers. Whatever your situation is, you can find a way to implement it in a way that's best for you. Just be aware it's going to take some time. The beginning is always the hardest. So once you start, you're going to need to sacrifice some time. It might be challenging if you have a busy schedule. If your schedule is changing a lot, it might be difficult. But when you have a summer break or a winter break, you actually want to do something for yourself, thinking about making your life easier for the next semester. This is a good time to start thinking about what QMS can actually give you that way. If you are a company CEO or you're doing it for business, you're doing it for industry, you may have to take some costs into consideration if you start really implementing quality management systems. It may occur that you need to spend some money or training materials, software. Sometimes you have to remodel the infrastructures, and if you really want to do it and you want to get certified, you're going to spend a lot of money for audits and certification process. It's not cheap. You have to do it every year to keep it going, to keep your certification. But if for us as teachers, if we're doing it for us, for a school, for a group, we don't really need to go that far. We may need to spend some money on training and materials, but honestly, there is a lot you can find online for free. If you go to YouTube, you read some blogs, you look for words like lean management, Six Sigma, or Toyota, you can find lots of materials that you can actually get familiar with those tools for free. The biggest problem when it comes to groups, if you want to implement that in a group, in your team, in your school, in your company, you're going to have to deal with some resistance. People have their own habits. Sometimes you're going to fight with yourself, with your old habits, because some people may just be afraid of changes, may not feel the need to implement the changes. They don't look forward far enough to see that it might be worth it, or they're going to retire within a few months, so they don't really care. So this is the moment you use your soft skills and maybe get some help from people higher in the structure organization. But it happens a lot. Once they see it working, I'm sure they're going to change their mind. If not, some may just, stay like they are, and not everybody needs to change everything. And you don't have to change everything at once. You can do one step at a time. Because for some, it might feel a little complex. When you read the standard, it's actually a little complicated. And when I was reading the standards for the first time, what was frustrating me was that the instructions were not very clear. I like clear, straightforward, step-by-step instructions. I need to know what to do. I like numbers. I like precision. But they're not that precise. They're more of a group of suggestions, which was frustrating to me at first, but then I realized it actually gives you more flexibility, so you can take whatever the standards give you. You can take the idea, get some tips from there, but then you can transfer it and you can actually change it to match, to fit your own habits, your business, your discipline, whatever you're going to use it for. Because they're usually designed for industry, they're designed for business and production. But when you look at it, add some creativity and see how flexible the tools are, you can actually find many different ways that you can use it. And many fields you can use it for. So, speaking of tools, okay, just reading the standards usually doesn't make such a big impression. You read it, you see the expectations, you see the tips, but then you have to somehow get it organized. And that's why people over the years came up with many interesting tools that are quite simple. Most of them don't cost you much or don't cost you anything at all. And most of them come from Japan and the Toyota company, which is the place the whole idea started, actually. Most of the quality management system tools come from Japan, and you can read many interesting stories about that. I'm going to show you a couple examples of the tools I like most. I think they're the best, they're the simplest, and you can use it in many fields of work and life. The first one is process mapping. When you start implementing quality management system, when you start working with quality, you have to imagine everything you do as a process. That helps a lot. So you try to think and focus on every single step it takes to get that's involved in getting from point A to point B, and you break up the whole process into all those little steps, and you focus on them individually. Doing the process mapping helps a lot. Okay? And it can be a diagram, step-by-step input, a flow chart, anything that illustrates how the whole process works. And you can do one for the whole company. You can have many processes in the company, so you can have a general map for processes and individual maps for smaller processes. You can have something fancy and complicated like this for production, for material flow, information flow, planning. It's a lot of information. Once you learn and it matches, it fits your needs, matches the profile of the company, it's great. But it's a lot. You don't need all of this for education, for your class. Sometimes all you need is a simple one like that. Okay, where do I go? How do I do it? What tools do I need? Okay, I would suggest every company to have such a flowchart when you have to deal with paperwork. Like I had to go to get some papers from the HR the other day, and it took me like 2 weeks because I went to one building, they sent me to another building. Then I realized I had to have a piece of paper from the first office. Then I had to go to like 3 or 4 different people. Then it was sitting on somebody's desk for a week. I didn't know I had to pick it up and give it to another person. It took a lot of extra time and effort because I didn't know the flowchart. I didn't know what I needed. I didn't know where to go with the papers. And probably if they had that, my life would have been so much easier, and so theirs. We do it for Erasmus students who come to visit our university. They don't pay attention to it, but had they paid attention, less work for me, less work for them, because we have all the steps explained in an infographic so they know what they need and where to go to get what they need. This is it. Set up your goal, think about the tasks and how they relate, how they go together. Step by step, what do you need to do first, second? Then you can move on and specify the individual tasks within the process. And here where Kanban can be useful. I really like Kanban. I think it's a great tool and you don't need much to use it. You can use a piece of paper, you can use a whiteboard, you can use an app, of course, but you don't really need a lot. The whole idea of Kanban was to organize tasks, spread them among people, teams, and monitor the status. So if you have a bunch of tasks, you can do a checkoff list, of course. That's the simplest tool. But you can do something else, like put all the tasks away for a while and draw a little chart. All you need is a whiteboard, and you do 3 columns. You have to do, in progress, and done. If you do it for yourself, that's all you need. If you have more people in your team or you have multiple teams, you add different rows for different teams. And then what you do, you simply assign tasks to people on that whiteboard. So everybody knows what everybody's doing. Everybody knows the status of a certain task. And if we add a little more, if you add some color coding, we can say the colors mean priority. We can say they're assigned to different customers or different people. We can do anything we want. They might be assigned to some projects. We do what's best for us. We make it clear for our team, for our company, for ourselves, and it works miracles. Because not only you see who's doing what at a certain time, you can see what's already been done, and you can see what tasks are still pending. So as a leader, you can assign them to people. As a team member, you can see that something needs to be done quickly. You're actually free. You can take it over. The other way of doing is if you have repeatable tasks that every task need to go through certain steps, they're the same, or you can skip one or two. You just put them together and you do like a board game. You take little magnets, little pins, or again a sticky note, and you just keep moving the tasks from step 1 to done. So again, everybody knows who's taking care of what. You can assign people by colors, by notes, by anything. And we can monitor the status of every single task easily. And we know who's taking care of what. So if we need some help, some assistance, some consultation, we can actually go to that specific person and ask for what we need without running around and trying to figure out where that particular document or a machine part might be at the time. So all you need, you can start, you don't even need a whiteboard. You can stick it anywhere. You can stick it on a window. You can stick it on your door. You don't have to draw anything. You can do it in your notebook if you're doing it for yourself. Just try that. Whatever color code you prefer. Is it to prioritize? Is it to categorize? Up to you. This is the flexible part about it, that you can actually adjust it so it's best for you. And you see how that simple tool improves the transparency and communication within the team and enhances the ability to identify problems, bottlenecks, and areas that still need improvement. Another one that I didn't mention last time is a skill matrix. It's a simple tool as well. It might look very alike, like the Kanban board. You come up with a scale of skills. Okay, whether you're beginner, intermediate, advanced, and you ask everybody in your team to define what level of different competences they are, they think they are, define themselves, or they have proof that they are. You might have that confirmed by certain training, certain certification, or you can just ask people how they feel about it. Doesn't matter. And you create a simple board like this, so people can say how good they feel about certain aspects that they need to deal with at their work. It's also good, we try to implement it now with my team for teaching. We make a list of our classes, of the classes that we have to teach within our institute, and we can actually say how good we feel about teaching certain classes, how confident we feel about it, how much experience with the subject matter we have. And if you have group projects, if you have a project with your students, they work in little groups, you can try doing it with them, figure out how good they feel about writing, speaking, listening, presenting, and then try to group them so people with higher skills can work together with people with lower skills, so they can learn more from each other's, and they actually learn how to communicate without using too complicated language, or how to explain things to people that are not as experienced as them. This is really good when you have variety in your classroom, when people are at different levels. Good for workshops, good for a conference. You know, this is quick. You can group people, say, I'm an expert at this, I'm learning this, I have no idea what that is. And then you mix them up, give them a little project. Should be great. For companies, for example, if I wanted to create a course on basics of Autodesk program, I need to know technical drawings. And if I want to create a course with a bunch of other instructors, we all should know technical drawings, and we should all know AutoCAD software, because that's the base. But then I can have people who are good at creating graphics, recording themselves, creating Moodle content. So I know if I want good content for my course, I may have good materials. But for example, if I want to use Moodle, I go straight to Nelly, because I know Nelly's the best at Moodle. And if Nelly is so busy, I can use the board to check who's also good. If I want my recordings to be better, I can go to Rob, because I know he's good at presenting, at recording. If Rob is too busy, I can look at the board and see who else feels good about recording. I hate recording myself. I don't have the confidence. I struggle. I keep repeating myself, and it's a mess. But I know people, and like Nives, I saw you there. You have a great voice. If I wanted somebody to do just the recordings of my materials, I would go straight to Nives because she has the speaking skills and the beautiful voice, so the whole recording would be absolutely wonderful. And even if Nives doesn't know the software, I don't know, maybe you do, it doesn't matter because I can give you the content, but I need your voice, and together we can create something beautiful. And when we talk to Nelly about setting up a Moodle thing and other people, knowing their skills, the final result is going to be absolutely wonderful. And this is how you do it. It doesn't have to be a big project. Might be something small. You can actually use it for yourself to monitor students' progress in your classroom. Okay, if you have a bunch of students, you can see who needs improvement in what field. Somebody is good at speaking, not very good at writing. You can monitor that using this board, not sharing it with them, of course, because they would be embarrassed, but you can use it for you and take a look once in a while, see which students actually need more attention at certain tasks, more help, more improvement. Many ways to use that. And I think the song was already mentioned today, but every time I see the 5Y, I think of this song. I'm not going to play it, but it got stuck in my head for a while. There is a method that's actually called 5Y. You can call it 5W, 5Y, Y. We're already talking about it today. This method helps getting to the root of the problem. Okay, we were talking about tools that can make things better, but problems always happen. So now we have tools that help digging a little into the problem, digging for a solution. And it's a very simple tool. You don't need anything to use it. You can use that Socratic and Brief bots, but they're not exactly designed for this method. This is simply you just say why. And usually when you repeat it 5 times, it gives you enough feedback to get to the root of the problem. So we say, hey, why did you fail the exam? I didn't have time to study. Is that the real reason? That's usually not. Okay, that's an excuse or that's a feeling. That's really not the reason. Why didn't you have time to study? Okay, because I had other projects to finish. And why is that? Because I haven't started and I waited till the last minute and then I had them all to do on one weekend. Why was that? Because I spent too much time scrolling social media and playing. And why was that? Because I prioritized having fun more than studying. And I lost track of time in the process. And here's the real reason you failed the exam. Okay? You don't get satisfied with the first answer, you try to go deeper and deeper. So you can actually find the real reason. It works nice for production because sometimes we think something broke and we take the first possible reason that people come up with. But when we start asking questions more, sometimes it's something very simple to be improved in, as opposite to changing the whole production process. The other one is a Ishikawa diagram. Here you categorize possible problem reasons into those related to people, materials, environment, and process. I'm not going to talk about it because we don't have that much time, so I'll skip this one. But I want to mention the 5S method. This is really a great tool. Also comes from Toyota, 5Y, I think, as well. This is something you can implement in your classroom, in your life, in your kitchen especially. Trust me, you can implement that in your kitchen and it works miracles. And a good place to implement that too is your kids' room. If you can force it, you see the results, you'll be amazed what that can do. This is about getting your space and your workflow organized and about standardization. So again, we're going back to procedures. We define the procedures, we map the process, we define the steps and the rules, and we implement this method to keep it run smoothly. And we start with sorting. The first step to 5S method is sort. So we eliminate all the unnecessary items from the workspace. It's good for your mind. You don't have so many distractions. You feel better in a clean space. It's also good for the work safety. If you work with tools, it's better to have your desk clean so you don't hurt yourself with something that's gonna fall or get in your way at not the very right moment. So once you have that, you have all the unnecessary items away. You have to think of where to put them. And as you see, the spices, you have boxes, you have shelves, you have cabinets, you have drawers. Everything should have the right place. And we force people to always put away the tools, the toys, their car keys in the same place, so they're much easier to find. Okay, I had that problem at my company with the car keys that were always missing because people were keeping them in their pockets. Sometimes they went on vacation with the keys, we didn't have a spare one. Lots of problems. We're trying to fight this habit, and we prepared a space that they're supposed to put the car keys away. I mean the company cars, of course. So it's available for everybody who needs it. And at the end of the day, they have to check if they really put the car keys away. So they're always available. Same with tools. If you don't use your drill or your scale or any other tools you don't need right now, put it in one space so other people can find it. Good for you as well. Just think about it. If you always have a place for everything, it's so much easier to find it later. And the other idea, I was forced to implement that in my kitchen. Always clean up. So you start your day fresh with a clean environment, beautiful clean desk, clean kitchen, makes you feel better. If you're tired at the end of the day, you think, okay, I'll leave the mess in the classroom, I'll leave the dirty dishes, I'll take care of it later. You feel much worse the next morning when you have to deal with it than just doing it and getting more tired the night before. But then you come back the next day and it's clean and you're ready to start a new day. And the next step is standardize. So you come up with rules, you come up with procedures, you map them, you infograph it. So everything is clear for everybody in the classroom. That's the idea. And the hardest part of it is the last step, which is sustain. You have to keep doing. You have to review, you have to force, you have to implement, you have to pay attention, trying to improve. You basically have to create a new habit. It may not work for everything at the same time. It might take a little while, but once you do it, you force new habits little by little. You get people motivated. You see the results. It's gonna work. And then you just keep it running. And once you keep it running, you start seeing many, many benefits of doing that. Because once you have it, once you know how to do it, it doesn't take a lot of time and effort, everyday life, but it makes it reduces the number of little frustrations that you have to deal with during the day. And actually, it has many safety benefits too, for your work safety, for your mind, for your well-being as well. And if you're still not sure about it, how to implement it, I have 10 simple steps that I will just rush through because I see we're running out of time a little. But first, just take some time, read about it, familiarize yourself with the standards, read about the tools, watch some videos, read some blog posts. They're really simple. They're usually well explained. I was looking around in Polish and English, and you can find lots of materials about it. And think about your goals. You don't have to do everything that you find on the internet about it. Think about the SMART system of specifying your goals. I'm sure you came across that term before, that your goals should be SMART, means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time related. This really helps making a decision, figuring the priorities, and giving yourself time to either improve or give up on things that you thought might work for you, but they don't. Not everything works for everybody, and you shouldn't be worried about it. If you work in a company, if you work with a group of teachers, if you have a team, everybody should get involved. It makes it much easier. You should come up with standard documents, standard procedures, some templates that will be accessible for everybody. If you want, you can use KPIs. Some people don't like KPIs. They have very negative experience with them, but they're not meant to judge people. According to quality management systems, they're not to judge, they're to monitor. So you can see problems, you can see room for improvements, you can see how you can help each other in certain ways. If you need training, there are paid courses, they are free materials. You can have a consultant, you can have an external auditor to help you, of course. There are many, many ways. What is important is to monitor and evaluate. So once you do 1 or 2 steps, give it a little time, you make a little change, give it some time, see how it works. If it's good, or did it change anything? Maybe not. Give it some time to develop, and then you decide whether to keep it or not. Be ready for continuous improvement, because as we said before, we discover something new, and by the time we learn it, it's already outdated. So it happens. This is the word right now. So this is why we keep learning, we keep improving, we keep reviewing the current status of the subject matter. But what's important, celebrate every little success, because every little improvement is something to be proud of. And we should all be proud of ourselves today, because we're all here learning from each other, exchanging some ideas. Many, many thanks to Nelly for organizing it. Every time I'm here, I learn a lot, and I'm so happy that I can hear so many different opinions, have nice discussions with people, and improve myself by listening to other people's experience. So every time you learn something new, you implement something new, every little change that works should be something to celebrate, be proud of yourself, and be proud of your students as well. Tell them that you're proud of them. Tell yourself you're proud of yourself, so we can all be happy and motivated for your next improvements. Thank you very much.
True. So true. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was absolutely amazing. I really, really enjoyed that. And I just want to remind everybody that to remember that actually avoid frustrations. It's just the little steps, the little whys, as you mentioned. You've given us amazing systems to try out individually and with others, of course, at home too. In the kitchen, that was a great example. Our desks is a great example. Avoid frustrations, how to avoid frustrations, and to have better communication with others, because I think the minute you take care of yourself, it's a lot easier to be able to understand others and communicate better with them, because you are knowledgeable. You know what goes on with you, and you appreciate that the same things go on with others. We're not unique in any way. So thank you for providing us with these amazing systems, management systems for our lives, including our personal and our professional lives. You have given so much in such a short time, Eva. I really, really appreciate it. And we're going to try these out, so you'll have to come back and ask us which one we preferred, which one worked, and hopefully we will try them out, all of us.
Yeah, I'm actually interested if anybody was at my previous presentation and tried out Kanban or 5S. I was talking about those two last time, I think. I don't know if you were there, any of you.
I don't know either, but it's worthwhile. And yes, your presentation was amazing. Thank you. And your talk too.
Yeah.
Iman says that she works with the 5 whys as an administrator.
Mhm.
But I think in our lives too, it's not just, for our professional lives, but for our personal lives. Sometimes we forget our personal lives and we only deal with these things in our professional lives.
Sometimes we just take the first thought or the first excuse that comes to our mind, and we don't really think about it deeper. It's part of coaching too, I think, that you keep asking yourself, keep going deeper and deeper. So it has a little bit of everything. Actually, it's a base for many different things that are now popular.
Thank you. And this is something that we need to do with ourselves. No AI tool can help in this case. It's about dealing with yourself, and no one else can do it for you. So, or nothing else can do it for you.
Okay.
So thank you. Thank you. I really appreciated that. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.